It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information every Saturday with me, Big Rick Stewart, right here at 993thevine.com. This is a pretty cool story I saw over at The Verge. You can read the new Steve Jobs book for free online. You can also download it as well. There's this new release. It is called Make Something Wonderful, Steve Jobs in His Own World. And it's a new free ebook, and it's got some of his photographs from his life, some emails, and some of those famous speeches, interviews, and more from Steve Jobs' life in public and also from his private life as well. And you can see this all over at stevejobsarchive.com. Make Something Wonderful is available to read now, and you can download it. You can find the ebook on Apple Books and also at participating libraries that have access to things like the Libby app or more, probably in the Napa Public Libraries, they have access to that. You can also just download it from the Steve Jobs archives. It's pretty cool. So it goes way back to, maybe some historical moments like when he first introduced the iPhone, but even earlier days when he was originally at Apple, when he was at Pixar, some of his other projects, when he got kicked out of Apple, when he came back to Apple and, iPods and iPhones took over the world. But it's a few things from his private life as well. A very inspiring guy. Jobs' widow says that the best way to understand a person is to listen to that person directly. The best way to understand Steve is to listen to what he said and wrote over the course of his life. All right. Sounds like some good reading. stevejobsarchive.com for more information. Hey, thanks for listening to the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Not everything lasts forever. In fact, I guess nothing really lasts forever. I guess we'll never know, really, because we won't last forever. But it does seem like the NBA season does go on for quite a bit, right? It lasts for a very long time. Well, we're just about to start the playoffs, but the playoffs go on for a really long time. So I decided to look up down here in Las Vegas, see what the odds makers are thinking, because they're all about the money. They're the real deal here. It seems to be a pretty good consensus about the favorite to win the 2023 NBA Finals. Win the whole thing, the whole championship. They are all seemingly picking the Milwaukee Bucks. And if you follow basketball, that's probably a pretty good pick. All right, second pick in the odds to win the NBA championship, the Boston Celtics. And then we go to third, the Phoenix Suns. And in fourth, but with a pretty good shot, you could make some money off of these guys. The Golden State Warriors could be picking up another NBA championship. They're not the favorite, but they're in fourth. That's not too bad. The NBA playoffs will go on for quite a bit until we get to the finals, which starts on June 1st. And if it goes 7 games, it'll go through mid-June. All right, I think the Warriors and the Kings get underway today. Go Warriors. I know there's Kings fans out there. I understand. Hey, I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart, every Saturday here at 993thevine.com. If you are planning a Hawaiian vacation, I wouldn't mind going. If you want to do some hiking and things like that, some outdoorsy things, your cost of your vacation might be going up a little bit. This is from the Associated Press. Hawaii's lawmakers mull imposing fees to pay for ecotourism. What's the deal behind all this? Well, this is from the governor of Hawaii. And he says, all I want to do, honestly, is to make travelers accountable and have the capacity to help pay for the impact that they have. Now, check this out. We get between 9 and 10 million visitors a year, but there's only 1.4 million people living on the island. So there's pretty big impact, right, on the environment and the hiking trails and more. And the governor says these 10 million travelers should be helping us sustain our environment. Things like repairing coral reefs and, maybe making sure the trails are okay and all that good stuff. yeah, that would be a pretty good thing. And they go on in the article to talk about how back in the day, you would go to Hawaii, play golf, go to a beach, go swimming, and that would be it. But now, check this out. With social media, there's all these cool secret, quote, waterfalls to find and coconut trees, and you got to get a selfie and all these things. And these are back roads trails. These aren't just like the regular places. So these 10 million people are seeking out these once obscure sites that they have seen on social media. Hawaii is just trying to keep things, in order to keep it going this way. All right, they haven't figured out the price yet, or actually if they're even going to do this, but just be aware. You might have to buy an ecotourism pass. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. This is a headline that got my attention. Guardians of the Galaxy themed recipes coming from HelloFresh. How about that? HelloFresh thing where you get those meal kits and then the instructions and you don't have to go shopping and everything's all proportioned and they just tell you how to make your food. It's kind of a cool idea, help you get started in cooking and stuff. Well, now they've teamed up with the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie that's going to be out soon. Over at GameSpot.com, they say Marvel and HelloFresh have teamed up to create a new line of recipes inspired by this superhero series. And now, I don't subscribe to HelloFresh. I'm all good with that, though. I think it's good, but I really love Guardians of the Galaxy, so maybe I should do this. I'm looking forward to the movie. And if I subscribe to this over at HelloFreshAdventure.com, starting on April 17th, I can order some things. Like I can have destroyed Thai chili coconut smash patties with zesty rice, roasted green beans, and peanuts. I can get galactic beef melts with corn tortilla chips. I can also get fire-blasted vegan coconut curry soup and all kinds of other things. I'm looking forward to the movie. It's going to be out May 5th, and I don't know if you cook some of these up. Let me know how it tastes. It's a pretty unique tie-in for a movie promotion. I like it. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. I love that show, Bob's Burgers. I've been watching it since it first came on. First season, first year. It has become a thing. But I was on early. I've seen those early shows like so many times. I love the whole show. It's great. And here's news from Business Insider, who quotes SF Gate. The San Francisco cafe that inspired Bob's Burgers has now closed its doors after 43 years. Wow, that's incredible. It was originally called Just For You Cafe, and it inspired Bob's Burgers. I'll tell you how in just a second. It had been around for a really long time. Its legacy will live on through the cartoon, of course, and all that good stuff. But yeah, they announced on Facebook, they said that they're closing the doors. It was in the city's Dog Patch neighborhood, which is just kind of off of South of Market over there. And it was kind of like a regular burger place where, regular workers and tech people and all kinds of folks could just sit down and maybe have a burger. And that's like on Bob's Burgers. I don't know if they had the special today. Maybe they did. The owner of the Just For You Cafe said that the long and short of it is that we really haven't been making money since COVID, and it's just kind of been a battle. And he goes on to tell SF Gate, the first year was fantastic. Then everything went downhill from there. It is kind of a Bob's Burger thing. So what's the connection? In the mid-aughts, the people who ended up creating Bob's Burgers were walking around San Francisco looking for inspiration. They said they looked in the window and saw something big like bolt of lightning big. They got the idea and they flushed out the idea and they created the show with Bob and Linda Belcher for Bob's Burgers. All right, Just For You, thank you for your years of service. You live on in memory for all of us Bob's Burgers fans. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information today at 993thevine.com. We're having a good time out here in California. They're having a good time out in Palm Beach, Florida today. It's one of those huge, giant car auctions. It's the Barrett-Jackson Palm Beach event. It's a big deal. And one of the biggest deals ever in car auctions is the very first 2024 Corvette E Ray, VIN number 001. It's being auctioned today. I don't know, maybe even as we speak. We'll have to see about this. This is a pretty amazing car. It's the brand new Corvette. It is a hybrid, so it does have a V8. In fact, it's got a 6.2 liter V8 engine, almost 500 horsepower. But wait a second, like they say, there's even more. It's also got a 160 horsepower electric motor. That's why it's called the E Ray. So it's got a, gas motor, electric motor. All together, it's got 655 horsepower, and it's pretty quick. 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. It runs the quarter mile in 10.5 seconds. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty fast. I think it's the fastest Corvette ever produced, stock as it rolls out. They're not quite sure how much this is going to go for at the auction, but when they are available, if you can get in line and get one, it will have a retail price of about $103,000. They'll probably almost all sell for more than that, certainly at first. So get ready for the first Corvette E Ray. You're going to hear about it. All-wheel drive and 655 horsepower. Can I go for a ride? Oh, and just so you know, 100% of the hammer price at the auction today is going to benefit Donors Choose, which helps fund classroom projects to give students a better education. 100% of the price. Very good. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. NFL Sunday Ticket. You know what that is, right? That's the thing where you buy the NFL Sunday Ticket and you sit and you can watch any game, any place, any team, the home team. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you live in San Diego, you can watch the Green Bay Packers, right? That's kind of how you're able to do that. It was on DirecTV, then it came up for bids and people bid a lot of money for it. Apple was trying to get it, I think, Amazon as well. So the NFL Sunday Ticket ended up on YouTube, and YouTube just announced the pricing for the 2023 season. It starts at $249 for the NFL Sunday Ticket, which isn't all that expensive, but it kind of inflates quickly depending, up to $489. So if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, which costs, I think, about $75 a month or so, whatever, then it's about $249. If you want to add in some of the really cool features like the Red Zone, and if you're familiar with Sunday Ticket NFL, you know all these things, it can end up costing you a whole heck of a giant amount of money. Why is that? How come stuff on YouTube isn't free? Well, in this case, YouTube ended up paying $2 billion a year, billion, to have these NFL games. So that's a lot of money. So they got to make their money back, I guess. Now, $249 if you already have YouTube, not that much. And $300, $400. If you try to buy a ticket to one NFL game you see in person and pay for parking and, $15 beers or whatever, maybe it's worth it. I don't know, it's up to you. Anyway, get your finances in order. Get ready for the NFL Sunday Ticket. It'll cost you some money for 2023. I'm Big Rick Stewart. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack is always free. Fun music and great information right here. 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and Cape Fog, some current songs, lots of surprises and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.